In response to Dr. Paul Krugman's article in the New York Times on Friday, January 29th, 2016, Plutocrats and Prejudice. Now, plutocrat basically is what is referred to, government by the richest. So, the richest and prejudiced. So, a lot of this is coming up in reference to some pushback that Dr. Krugman has been getting by the supporters of Bernie Sanders, who've been pretty vile in going after him, similar to the types of things that you see when Republicans are going after Democrats, pretty vile. And he's trying to break it down, is that this is what's going on in the United States right now. We have an election coming up where all of our GOP friends are basically as nasty as can possibly can be. And if you want to hear any type of, let's just say, intelligent reasoning thought about how our government should work, then go to the Democratic side. But what you have is a little bit of a competing view on the Democratic side in reference to how change should come about and why it should come about that way. From he's very simplistic here in indicating from Bernie's standpoint is that money is the root of all evil. Of course, that would be what a Republican say. Government is the root of all evil. Bernie says money is the root of all evil. Very simplistically, again. Hillary is basically saying money is a big factor in all of this. It's some of all of the problems, maybe even some more than some, maybe most. But there are a lot of other factors that come in there: racism, sexism, etc. As an example, we see in Flint, Michigan, a different type of racism, environmental racism. So this takes many, many forms. Now, when you have this plutocracy or an oligarchy is basically government by a small group of people. So we basically have the same thing, plutocracy, oligarchy, where the 1% is basically influence buying to the Republican Party so that they can get their taxes reduced and have less regulation. But they can't do it by themselves. So they go after all of the racism of individuals that they know will vote for them. So we have all of these people who will consistently vote Republican because of such things as Planned Parenthood, such things as gay marriage, God's guns and gays. So that, and of course, that comes up every couple of years because the rich, they don't care about these social issues. They just care about, let me keep my money, let me get more money, let me pass it on to my kids, and environmental regulations be damned. So they don't care about gay marriage. They don't care about Planned Parenthood. They don't care about this kind of stuff. But we need to bring it up every couple of years because then we need to bring in our base, and our base is fear-based and racism-based. And Dr. Krugman points out that a lot of that's, this has been going on for hundreds of years, but let's take it back to the first Gilded Age, I believe in the 1870s it started, and then we had another one, if you want to call it that, in the Roaring 20s, a wide discrepancy between rich and poor. So the rich have been trying to do this for a long, long time, and to keep it going from the early 1970s on, they've had the Southern White Strategy. Where all of the whites who were mostly Democrat in the 60s all became Republicans. And they've had to rely on that. And they've had to rely on guns, gods, and gays, Planned Parenthood, gay marriage, and a whole host of other types of things. And what Dr. Krugman is pointing out here basically is that this oligarchy, this plutocracy, is pretty well entrenched in what's going on. And things can change in the United States, and things can change fairly fast in the United States. And the example was of gay marriage. So in the early 90s, no one thought that it would ever be completely legal like it is today. So things can change. But in most instances, there's a gradual change. And you have to make that gradual change, and there's going to be, one step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back. You have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. So the things that both Bernie and Hillary are talking about, but they don't necessarily completely agree on how they should be done, it's going to be gradual, and it's not going to be everything is going to happen in the first year of a Bernie administration, meaning you're not going to have, a $15 minimum wage, free college tuition, and a whole host of other types of things that they want to institute. And it won't happen in their first term probably. But the point is, you have to keep going for that incremental change and keep going, and then it starts, factoring, and it goes even faster and faster. So it does take time. And his particular point about this is that there are a lot of people on Bernie's side who actually think that this is going to be a revolution, that once Bernie gets into office, all of these great things will happen. Well, I just want to let you know, I remember the same thing happened with Obama. Everyone thought that this guy from Chicago, once he got into office, he could do it all. And we found out that it was very, very difficult. But at the same time, he has done some astronomical things to keep America moving forward towards a more progressive point of view. And the first thing is the ACA, and we need to keep that in. We need to have a Democratic president after that. But the Obama administration has been terribly successful, even though they've been fought tooth and nail. And the exact same thing is going to happen to either Hillary or Bernie. If one of them is to win the presidency, that everything will be fought by tooth and nail. There will not be a revolution. There will be, gradual, consistent change, and we're going to have to fight for everything that we get.